Hey, hope you're having a good Tuesday. Thank you for joining me for today's 5 for 5. This past few weeks, I have been working at my house trying to get some old flooring up so that we can put some new flooring down. And in some spots where I'm trying to get the thin set mortar and some old vinyl glue up, I got a tool that I thought would make it a little easier. Simple little tool, just a floor scraper. And I was using it over by the front door this week and had been going pretty well, it seemed like. But then I felt like, well, maybe it's not working quite as well. The more I looked at it, the more I realized it wasn't very sharp. And I thought it was supposed to be sharp. So I thought, well, maybe I just need to flip it around. And that's when I realized that I was using the wrong side all along. The side that I was using was the dull side when I should have been using the side with the blade. It came with the dull side out so that I wouldn't cut myself, but I needed to use the sharp side, the side with an edge. And once I started using it, the tool worked so much better. It was so much more effective. It reminded me of how sometimes we can kind of go through the motions of life. We can go through the motions of our spiritual life. And when we do that, sometimes we can do it all in our own strength, all in our own power, and it's not very effective. In 2 Peter chapter 1, we read, His divine power, God's divine power, the Lord's divine power, has given us everything required for life and godliness through the knowledge of Him who called us by His own glory and goodness. There's a lot packed into that one verse, but it's saying that through the power of God, that we have been given everything that we need for life and to live a godly life, to live a life that brings Him glory, through the knowledge of Him who called us by His own glory and goodness. So through the knowledge of Jesus Christ, who has called us in relationship with Him, and by His own glory, His own virtue, His own goodness, the excellence of who He is, He has done all this for us. He's given us everything we need for the life that He's called us to live and the godliness He's called us to live in. It says, by these, verse 4, He has given us very great and precious promises so that through them you may share in the divine nature, escaping the corruption that is in the world because of evil desire. Basically, that's saying there is no reason why we shouldn't be able to have victory over sin and over the corruption that is even within our own selves as new believers, as new creations in Jesus Christ, that He's given us everything we need to be able to live for Him and to live victorious for Him. And when we go through life and we try to do it through our own strength, our own power, what we find is we're a bit like me trying to use that tool with the wrong blade, using the dull end of it, not using the right end of it. But when we get things in the right order and we act in His power, we act in His strength, we act in His work that He's done through us, He gives us victory. He gives us success in those things that God's called us to live out. And we find that we're not operating in our own strength, we're not operating in our own power, but we're operating by the power of the Holy Spirit within us, given through Jesus Christ. I encourage you to look at 2 Peter chapter 1, start at the beginning and work your way down, all the way down to verse 15, and see the great way that we're called, that not only are we already in the place where we've got the great power of God in our lives, but He calls us to take it a step further, to be able to add to that faith and to be able to build on that faith for a life that ultimately will bring Him glory and lead to connection with other believers and lead to the world bringing Him glory. Hope you have a great day today.